Hello, how are you? Welcome along to my channel. I'm Poppy Mac and I'm on a journey to find myself. Today I'm going to be talking about mostly my mental health because it all went a bit off-piste this week and things I've done to get myself back on track. So I hope you'll join me for that. I weighed myself on Sunday and I hadn't lost any weight. I hadn't gained any either, just stayed the same. And that's okay because I've had a couple of good weeks, so I'm quite happy with staying the same for a little while. And I wasn't really surprised because my head wasn't in the game this week. So we've had a few ups and downs, and I'm going to just have a chat through that. So Seamus is really unsettled at the moment, and we went for our visit on Sunday because they'd had a member of staff off sick and someone else had stepped in, but that meant they were down a driver. So I went to the house instead of going for our picnics that we had hoped to do. And as I said before, he's kind of got into a pattern now of getting hyper excited and then not knowing what to do with all of that energy and all of that excitement. And he did the same again on Sunday. He got really, really distressed, bless his heart. He got so excited and you could feel the excitement building and building, and he was sort of super, super happy, over the top happy. And then all of a sudden, he was just sobbing. And then I was just sobbing, and it was just hard. And unfortunately, he can vent that frustration physically. So I was quite anxious. And but he did settle, and I managed to I stepped back, I stepped into the kitchen, but he could still hear me, and I was just talking to him really, really calmly and slowly and gently, and persuading him that everything's fine, everything's going to be fine. And we did some kind of distraction, sort of just taking the tension out of the situation for a little while, and then we were able to carry on for a little while. And when it was done, he was quite relaxed about saying goodbye, and he was okay, and he took himself to his room, and I checked in with them a little bit later to make sure that he was still okay, and they said, yeah, he's fine, he's chilling in his room, he's listening to his radio, and he's quite happy. So, but unfortunately it does trigger strong emotions in me, because in the past, when it was just me and the boys and they got anxious, they would take their frustrations out on me. And there's a book that I was recommended by a therapist a while ago called The Body Keeps the Score, and I'll drop some details in here. And it discusses how it's not just an emotional and a mental response that you get when your PTSD is triggered like that. It's also a physical response. And I could feel myself sort of tightening up, and the tension in my body. And it's taken a while for my body to kind of settle again. So that was difficult, but we have chatted since in his own unique way. We've had our nightly calls, and that's all been good. But it was very hard to see him get himself so wound up and then so sad, and then it was just a joy to see him settle again and to chat to him in the evenings and hear him back to his usual happy self. But it is always distressing when one of your kids is upset. So yeah, that was hard. And yeah, it just and I'm drowning in paperwork for him and Ryan and for my mum, and so I took my eye off the ball, and things weren't going to plan this week. I've not exercised like I usually do. I've not eaten as sensibly as I perhaps could have, and I have just kind of reverted to wanting to withdraw from everything, everyone, and just sulk a little bit. So anyway, so I've not got very far into my book, and which is a shame because I am quite enjoying the bit I've read. So, but I did dig out some wool and have a try at a bit of crochet. So I wanted to see if I could still do it. So I did a square. I don't know what function it's going to have, but I just did it. So, and I found a bag and all these tiny, weeny little balls of yarning. So I might do a load of tiny little granny squares and see if I can do something with them. But so yeah, I've not been doing much reading. I've reverted back to my audiobooks and my podcasts for this week, but I'm trying again. I did have a little read this morning. So because I did enjoy it when I was doing it. So I don't know why I stepped back from it. So anyway, yeah. So I'm doing pip forms for Ryan. I'm doing a blue badge application for my mum. She's increasingly unsteady on her feet and muddly about where we're going. And so it's just going to be easier if I can get her a blue badge so we haven't got to negotiate too many uneven pavements when we go to different things. So she's gone to her MCST today, which is it's good. She enjoys it. She never remembers quite what she's going to be doing when she gets there, but yeah, she enjoys it while she's there. And while we were there, we met one of the other ladies from the ADSS who's sitting in today to see what they do. So that was lovely. I haven't seen her for a while. So yeah, always good to catch up with these people. So health wise, not too bad, apart from the sort of seizing up a bit in anxiety, but I'm working on that and I do relaxation things. And years ago, I bought one of these things that you put on the chair and it gives you back a massage, thinking the boys might like it, and they didn't, but I quite like it. So I've still got it, and I've been doing that to try and ease the tension in my back a little bit and in my neck. So yeah, I'm going to get back to moving about more this week. My Fitbit died. I've had a Fitbit for years and years and years, and I had to do an app update, and there was a forced migration onto Google Health, and it didn't work. It just stopped counting my steps. So I did all the things they tell you to do when that happens, which means they know that's happening to lots of people. And I did all of the things, and I ended up with a watch that just had a screen on it asking me what language I wanted, and I choose my language, and it just wouldn't move beyond that. Took the app off, reinstalled it, shut the watch down, restarted it, let the battery drain, recharged it, all of the things they tell you to do. And no, nothing, completely dead. So I'm like, that's it, me and Fitbit, we're finished. After a long, happy relationship, we are now done. And I treated myself because I can't be without a watch. I have to have a watch. I once came out of a general anaesthetic asking to know what the time is. That's how obsessed with time I am. So I went and bought myself an Apple Watch. I know, very, very naughty, but it's quite motivating. I'm quite enjoying it. I only got it yesterday, so I don't really know what I'm doing yet. But yeah, it's I'm quite enjoying finding my way around it, and it keeps giving me little motivation. And oh, time to get up and move. So I get up and move, and it's quite sweet. So yeah, hopefully that'll give me a kick up the bum to get motivated and get moving again. So I'm hoping that'll work. So Ryan's been doing well. He's lost another kilo, so he's doing really, really well. I'm very proud. And we've booked Seamus a second swimming session in the week because it's the one thing he really, really seems to love at the moment, being outdoors and going swimming. So they go to a lovely pool. It's a little way away. It's in Whitstable. It's, I suppose, about half an hour drive, and they get the whole pool to themselves. It's not massive, but yeah. So they haven't got lots of kids splashing or adults trying to do serious lengths and then likely to get in their way, and so it's just nice. You should hire the whole thing for the hour, and they just really love it. So Ryan goes on a Monday and Seamus goes on a Thursday at the moment, and from September he'll be going on a Friday as well. And asked Ryan if he wanted a second day, and he said no. He's quite happy going to the gym in between times, which doesn't really work with Seamus because he can't see, and yeah, it's just tricky for him. So he's better off doing things that are a bit more sensory, like the swimming. So yeah, I'm quite excited for him to start doing that. So I'm in a battle with the GP to try and get his B12 is really, really low, and he can't take tablets. And there is a liquid available, but they don't prescribe it on the NHS. And much Googling tells me that that is a reasonable adjustment that we can request. And they're saying, no, we can't prescribe it. And I'm saying, I think you can. I think you can do it off label as a reasonable adjustment. And the psychiatrist agrees with us that, yes, they should be able to do that. But so far, it's not happened. And it's not good for him to be this low and not having it addressed. So I'm back to chuntering to the GP later. Now, when I'm looking in the camera, I think I've got a dark stripe down here. I promise you I haven't. It's just shadow. It's really odd, but it's following me wherever I go. Anyway, stop wittering. Stop wittering, Poppy. What are you talking about? Yeah, so that's another battle and more kind of digging and so yes, tattoo update. No, didn't happen. I sent her a picture of what I wanted, and I'll drop it in here. I went on to Chat GPT and I uploaded a picture of this arm that I really like and got it to do that with an image of Betty Boop from a mug that I've got. It's not this one. I've got another one with Betty Boop on. I love Betty Boop, and people buy me silly Betty Boop things, and I love it. So I was going to say that this is my third coffee of the day, and it is just coming up to 11, which probably doesn't sound too bad. But what I don't tell people is this is my cup. I just drink it out of the dainty mug. The mug can be dainty. So anyway, she sent me back her design, and it didn't look anything like my original. And I'd said to her, this is what I'm after. However, one of the bats looks as if it's flown into a tree, and it's a bit kind of, and I get that it's very busy, and it might need the jewellery sort of simplified a little bit, and there was a thing in the hair, and it might need bits and pieces simplified. But overall, this is what I want. This is my starting point, and this is what I'm aiming for. And I got back this completely different thing, and I didn't like it. And I said to her, no, I don't like that. I like the original with the simplifications and the sorting out the bat. And I wanted it so that it would sort of trail over my arm with a rose, with a vine, like I've got kind of going round. This comes up and goes across my back. And instead she just sort of done a line that kind of went round like that. And I said, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I don't like that. And she got really snippy and said that she doesn't do other people's designs. And I said, well, it's my design. I did it. I did it based off your previous work and a photograph of Betty Boop, who looks like Betty Boop. And I felt that hers looked a bit gargoyley. And I just said, no, this is, it's my design. I put it together. Right, I used AI to do it, and I know it needs some simplification, but this is completely different. And she was really, really put out, and she said she needed creative input. And I said, well, perhaps if you need total artistic control, human skin is not your best canvas. So I think we'll leave it. Bearing in mind, she refuses to send designs out until the day before your appointment. And it was a 6-hour appointment. So basically, had she sent it earlier, like I asked her to, we could have had that conversation and I would have cancelled, or we would have worked it out. But she would have had time to refill that slot. However, she didn't have time to refill that slot. So she lost my business and didn't give herself time to refill it, which falls into the basket of not my problem, because that's just a really silly way of doing it. And I noticed on her website, she says that if you cancel within 24 hours of your appointment, that she's going to charge you. And I think she's welcome to try, but I don't think she's got a leg to stand on, because she won't do what I want. well, she said grudgingly that she would do it just this once, because I only want it done once. I don't want it all over me, because it's going on my skin. And I thought, oh no, I'm not trusting you in that mood to come at me with a a set of needles and some ink. That's just not happening. So I said, no, I think we'll leave it. You're clearly not happy to do this. So now I'm trying to find another artist to do what I would like and not be mortally wounded by the idea that I know what I want on my skin, which doesn't seem unreasonable to me, but maybe I'm wrong. You let me know. You tell me, am I being really unreasonable? So anyway, yeah, so that was disappointing. But I saved some cash and I spent it on my Apple Watch, and I'm really, really pleased with that. So yeah, it'll it'll all get sorted somehow. I'll either get it done or I won't, and it's not the end of the world. But it was slightly disappointing, and I don't like, I know I joke that I've never knowingly walked away from an argument, but it's not my preferred way to spend my time. I really would rather just, be nice, live, have nice manners, and just kind of, get on with stuff. But no, not this time. So yes, I spent my money and got changed, having a nice new watch that will tell me the time and the date and how many steps I've done, which my Fitbit no longer does. So hey ho. So what have we been up to? Let me think. So I had my lovely time with Ryan at the cafe after he'd been to the gym. So he likes that. We go to Costa, and everybody in there knows him now. They all greet him by name and know what he wants, and they all have a chat with him, and it's really, really nice. And we do tend to go to all the same places. So, and we met at Asda and did a walk around as well, so that's good. And they're getting to know him, although we're going one more time to Asda apparently this year, and then we're going back to Tesco, because we go to Tesco in the autumn. So I'm like, okay, fine. It's good to have a plan. So, I was talking to the house manager and said, well, he wants to go back to Tesco, and there's a bus stop right outside Tesco, and he likes the bus. So less taxis, more buses, please. So he has got his bus pass, and good old Andy Burnham seems to have capped the bus fares, so that should help. And so that's our plan for him going forward. And maybe he's still planning Leeds Castle. I have no idea. He hasn't said. I'm waiting to see. But my joints have calmed down a wee bit. So although we're heading into another heat wave, I hadn't noticed the last one ending, if I'm honest. I'm just fed up with it now. Not designed for it. But so that's his plan. We are doing a picnic with Seamus at the weekend, so that will be good. And Mum and I are just kind of chilling and taking each day as it comes in around her MCST, which is really, really good. So nothing hugely exciting on the agenda, I don't think, coming up. Met oldest friend for a coffee yesterday. That was lovely. We always have a good laugh when we're together. So we feel like a family because we've known each other for so long. And I'll probably be going back to see Bestie and Barky Dog as soon as the Barky Dog did not eat me for lunch and spit me out again. So we're just pottering through the summer, and the rest of today is going to be spent on pip forms. Oh, the joy! I find them a bit depressing, but has to be done. That's what funds him going to swimming with his staff and the bus fares and taxi fares and all of that stuff. So it's all coming together, I hope. And here's to a calmer week, less angst, less wibbling about stuff, and just had to go back to do the exercises and remind myself that everybody's safe, everybody's happy, I'm not in any physical danger. It's just PTSD rearing its ugly head, as it does from time to time, and we're all fine. And I'm going to get back to my exercise, back to my book, and I hope everybody's having a marvellous time. And I will check in with you next week. So, do take care. And it's lovely chatting to you. Bye-bye.